Hello and welcome to another very spooky episode of the Popture podcast. Ooh, now that voice, that second voice you're hearing, the first voice you might recognize as being mine. I'm Richard Martin. I am one of the regular hosts of this podcast, but a voice you would normally be hearing alongside mine is that of Alex Jones, the controversial, I think it's fair to say controversial podcast host. And but he has COVID, unfortunately. Like for the first time, I didn't realize it was his first time getting it, but after 3 years of denying its existence, it has finally caught up with AJ, and he is sick with COVID. He's on the mend now, but when he got it, I was like, you know what? I will take care of the podcast this week. And what we've decided to do to keep him somewhat in the Spooktober thing, Spooktober, is I'm joined by frequent podcast collaborator Jess.
Hello.
And we're going to be going through something that's very close to your heart.
It is. Yeah.
So we got some good feedback a few weeks ago. We had our friend Andrew Todd on a couple of episodes. We had him on a Patreon episode as well as on the main feed, just talking to us about Star Trek. And I think there is like nothing more interesting and, dare I say, sexy than having someone just talk to you about something that they're really passionate about. And so when trying to come up with ideas for what we could do without AJ, I said, Jess, do you want to come on? And you know, we can talk about something that you're passionate about. So today...
Jess, you're spooky as fuck, so just come on and we'll scare the shit out of everyone.
Exactly, that's what I said to her. And so I thought, what's something that means a lot to you that's, vaguely spook related? And so what we're going to do today is we're going to be going through a bunch of classic Doctor Who villains, and we're going to be doing like a power ranking, or like a tier list of... And it's entirely audio based, so you don't need to follow along with the list at home. But we're going to be talking about how scary these villains actually are, because Doctor Who's kind of known for being all over the spectrum, right?
Yeah, kind of. Like, there's definitely a few per season that is scary. And it's kind of known, like, the classic series of, kids hiding behind the couch when the Daleks come out and shit. Yeah. So, yeah.
But then on the other side of that, you have just some of the goofiest fucking monsters, right?
Yeah, which is my favourite.
Yeah. Just so people understand your qualifications.
Oh, God.
Do you want to just talk a little bit about Doctor Who, how you were introduced to it, what your history is with it, that sort of thing?
Yeah, sure. My nana was a massive fan of of the classic series, so I watched it with her from quite a young age, some of the classic shit.
Yeah.
And then when it was rebooted in 2005, I would have been, 10 years old? So, the perfect age to jump back into it. And, yeah, kind of, I... am known amongst my friends for having very deep obsessions about very particular things, and this was one of them. Is
there warring factions of Doctor Who fans about whether you picked it up in 2005 with the reboot or if you're an OG fan?
I don't think so. It's pretty welcoming. Well, to be I like Doctor Who, but to be completely clear, I'm not that deep into the fandom
not
aspect
like a
of it.
Super Who-lock.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, I do have a Doctor Who tattoo and painted my wardrobe doors as the TARDIS when I was a kid, but yeah.
Yeah, are you were never into Supernatural?
Nah.
You were into Sherlock. I remember Sherlock went off the deep end pretty far.
Yeah, I was into it, and then we watched that H Bomber Guy video about how it's shit, and then I was like, the curtain was pulled apart, and I was like, oh god, I'll never enjoy it again.
Yeah. Sherlock is funny because the height of the fandom was when there was only 6 episodes out.
Yeah, the first season, I think.
But yeah, so if you're listening to this and you have no interest in Doctor Who, you might not know these villains that we're talking about. I'm not a big Doctor Who guy. I live with a big Doctor Who fan, and we're currently sort of starting to rewatch the series from when it rebooted. But yeah, I watched a couple of seasons, and there's a lot that just being a pop culture guy, I've kind of picked up through osmosis.
I think I've written us a little list to go through, and I think you'll know most of them because you kind of haven't watched the later seasons, but to be honest, they're all pretty shit. So,
well, yeah, that's the interesting thing that like they have all these super famous, the Daleks and stuff like that. That it's like, I was feels like I was born knowing what a Dalek looked like,
Yeah.
And then things like the Cybermen and stuff like that. There's a few other ones, but it feels like from my somewhat limited knowledge that it's like the last really big like introduction of a new type of villain into Doctor Who is the first one we're talking about, which is the Weeping Angels.
Yeah.
Which were introduced in the episode Blink,
yes.
I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's the Weeping Angels deal?
So basically they're like statues of angels, like typical of what you'd see in a cemetery. So like, yeah, pretty creepy. But the creep factor comes from that they're just looming, ominous. They move very quickly, but only when you're not looking at them. So it's kind of that jump scare thing of you turn away and you look back and they're closer or whatever.
Yeah, it's like, what's the time, Mr. Wolf?
Yeah.
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 Or Sneak Up Granny, perhaps.
The fuck is Sneak Up Granny?
The game where it's like, like in Squid Game. The first game they play.
Just what's the time, Mr. Wolf? Okay.
Yeah, have you not heard that called Sneak Up Granny? Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it's a Christchurch thing.
Maybe. Well, let us know on the Discord or in the comments below what you call that game. The first game they do in Squid Game. But yeah, like the Weeping Angels, and yeah, I mean, this is someone who's not a big Doctor Who fan, but Blink is a masterpiece. It's like, I compare it all the time to like Casino Royale, where it's like, this is so much better than anything else in this that it's a shame you wasted it on this.
Also because it kind of like, for majority of the episode, has fucking nothing to do with Doctor Who, and that's sick.
Yeah. And in terms of like scariness, and so what are going to be our tiers? You've obviously got S tier for like super scary.
Yeah.
And then you've got A, which is just,
would have found it real scary when I was 12.
What? That doesn't start with A.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm 12 and I find this really scary.
B, bit scary.
Yep.
C, kind of scary. D, dumb.
Yeah.
And F, forget about
Fucking
it.
dumb.
Fucking dumb.
Fucking dumb.
All right, so the Weeping Angels, like in their first appearance, I would say like super scary. Because it's similar to the kind of like Freddy Krueger thing that like I think AJ said this on a Nightmare on Elm Street episode, where it's like, as long as from when humans started to tell stories, eventually we were going to get to this idea that it's something that haunts you in your dreams, that the idea of this thing that chases after you when you're not looking at it, which is not entirely original to this episode necessarily. I'm sure it's been used before, but it's brilliant, and it plays on inherent fears of the dark, which is like a very like primal fear that it's like, there's a reason that humans are afraid of the dark, because back in the caveman times, of course you'd be afraid of the dark
fucking time, and bears would come for you.
Yeah,
I think the thing is that we can't judge it on the episode. We have to judge it on the creature,
what they've done to it,
and what they've fucking done to it, which is brought it down significantly, I think, because there was like a couple of Amy Pond episodes it was in, and it was fine. And also, I'm really sorry, I don't know any of the names of fucking episodes and shit. I'm not like that far into it. But in the later seasons, they show them moving.
That is like,
that's like the cardinal sin.
Yeah.
Of that.
What do they look like when they move?
They look fucking the same.
Yeah.
They just look...
Do they move outrageously fast?
No, like slowly.
Oh, that's stupid.
That's
the whole thing.
It was like a whole... I think it was a storyline around how like their power had been like sapped and stuff. And so they were like... But still, it like completely shatters the illusion.
Well, also like, isn't it like the second appearance that you find out that the Statue of Liberty is this Weeping Angel?
It's in like the third or fourth, but it's at the end of Amy and Rory's sort of story.
Yeah. I do like, as stupid as I think that is, and the reveal of it is so stupid, but like the idea that a famous statue is a weeping angel that's like never not had someone looking at it.
Yeah.
Especially in the city that never sleeps.
Also, like, what's the fucking point? And also, it's made out of copper. Anyway, it does, frustrate me incredibly.
But the other thing that is worth mentioning about the Weeping Angels, so to recap, they are statues that can only move when you're not looking at them, so they, play on fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
But what happens when they get you?
So they send you back in time, and then they feed off the energy of the life that you could have lived.
Yeah. I mean, the second half is a little bit wanky, but, like, the sending you back in time is so interesting.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it's not just like, oh, they kill you or they rip you out of time. It's like, you just live quite a happy life somewhere else in time.
Yeah, it's, like, not particularly cruel.
Yeah. But in some ways, it's even more cruel.
Whoa, deep, dude.
So what based on the cardinal sins they committed with them, where do you end up ranking them?
I think I'd put them B tier just because they don't, like, the appearance of them is, like, a bit creepy, but it's really, like, the tone of the music and, like, the context that they're in that makes them creepy to me.
B tier is pretty low down. I mean, you're the expert. But I'm just going to say that, like, do you have? I mean, I'm happy to go with that. But, like, do you have ones on your list that are going to be S tier?
Yeah, I reckon.
Oh, because I filmed once at this fried chicken festival, and sorry to go on a tangent here, and I was filming with this. We just did this video for social media, and it was like it didn't even getting posted, but each stall at the fried chicken festival had to have one thing available for $10 or less. So we got $100 petty cash and went around to 10 different stalls to try their $10 item.
Nice.
And everything, she was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Oh, this is the best thing I've ever eaten. I'm going to give it an 8. And then it'll be like, okay. And then she didn't give a single thing a 10.
Oh, fuck.
Like, no, and I get, being conservative at the start, but it's like you have to give something a 10.
Yeah, you've got to have your scale.
At the end, I was like, yeah, should we film a wrap up? And she was like, oh, everything was so good. Like, come on down, it was so good. I wish I could have given everything a 10. And I was like, not only did you not give anything a 10, but you absolutely could have given everything a 10. That was well within your rights as the content creator.
Nothing's stopping
here.
you from giving something a 10.
Okay, so Weeping Angels are going a B tier.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Is that too harsh?
No, I'm fine with that. What have we got next?
I mean, if you find it more scary, this is collaborative.
I've only seen Blink though.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, I'm going to be harsh and go B tier here. Yeah, the next one that we want to talk about is, like, quite a departure, and I kind of only put it on this list because it's such, like, a classic villain that you have to have it somewhere.
Yeah,
and it's kind of just fun to talk about. But have you seen any of the Sontaran episodes?
I have not. Could you please explain them to me?
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't have seen it because I think the first time we see them in Modern, who is in a Donna episode, and you famously fucking hate Catherine Tate. So
I've come around on her a little bit. I think. I think there was a sexist little part of me as like a young teenage boy that was like, women comedians aren't funny.
Well, like, she's not hot, so she doesn't have any value.
No, not that. I don't know. Just like. I mean, like, and also just that style of sketch comedy. Yeah. That I was like, no one can do it like Little Britain. And so I wasn't into it. But yeah, no, I think that there's a lot of stuff like Catherine Tate that I just, like, arbitrarily didn't like as a kid. And I'm like, it was probably just, like, edgy 13-year-old Richard, now that I think about it.
You were too cool to like Catherine Tate.
Yeah, and now I'm not cool enough to like Catherine Tate, so I still don't like her.
Well, she's going to be in the new season, so... Best believe I'm going to make you watch it with me.
Yeah, and, like, I'm keen to watch that season.
Okay. I'll hold you to that. Oh, what you got there?
This is a 1 litre beer I bought from Armageddon, which is New Zealand's answer to Comic-Con.
It is a fucking chode of a beer can as well.
Yeah. Well, it's 1 litre or 1,000 mils for our American listeners. That doesn't help you.
That doesn't help.
What are these?
Quarts?
Quarts?
Ounces? I don't know what the fucking system is.
Yeah, tell me about these. It's 4 standard drinks.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, tell me about these Voltarans.
Okay. So the Sontarans are basically like if you take a baked potato and then you put it in like an armoured suit That's what they look like.
Like a Mr. Potato Head kind of thing?
Yeah, kind of. Pretty much. They look fucking ridiculous. And they're from the classic series. So that was very loud.
It was so loud.
It was
I'm
so
sorry.
loud.
It really would have made it seem like I wasn't listening.
Yeah, and basically their whole thing is that they just want to be at war all the time. They're like soldiers. They just fucking love being at war.
Right.
And
so like,
causing shit.
Almost like Captain America kind of thing where it's like, doesn't know a world without war.
Yeah, sure. I'm not that familiar with Captain America, but yeah.
Well, I'm not familiar with the Voltarans.
Yeah. Very funny joke. Do you want me to laugh now that you've said it twice, just to acknowledge it? Ha 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 ha.
Thank you.
Yeah, anyway, straight F tier. We don't need to talk about it for long.
Okay, I'm happy to move on then. Are you like, so these are like a classic Who villain?
Yes,
Yeah.
and they've appeared like a couple of times in the classic series.
What would you say their like classic outfit was made from? It's probably just like, whatever you make props out of.
Yeah, it's like blue and light blue.
They're blue.
They're
Light
blue. Dark blue. Yeah,
Okay,
dark blue like
right.
collars, and they wear helmets, and then they take their helmets off for the reveal of the baked potato.
Nice.
And they go around yelling Sontar Ha all the time as their like war.
Sontar Ha.
Yeah, as their war cry.
Like Francis Ha.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Okay. That doesn't sound very scary. What do they do to you when they, like, do they just kill you with weapons? Or?
Yeah, they've just got little blasters and shit.
Could I take one in a fight? Unarmored.
Unweaponed.
Yeah, just hand to hand.
Yeah, I reckon you could punch them in the face a few times, knock them out. They're pretty short, pretty stubby.
Sounds like you're describing one of the hosts of this podcast.
It's a chode potato.
Yeah, Lord Chode Potato. No. Yeah, she's describing me. That doesn't sound scary to me at all.
No, yeah, I think straight F tier.
Straight F tier.
But apparently people still found them quite scary in the originals.
Oh, this is what? Forced children behind the couch.
Yeah, well, it's that whole thing of, back in the day when your props budget was 5 cents and things were scary.
5 cents when
it did.
Pretty far back in those days.
Buy a fucking lot of tin foil for 5 pence, a few rolls.
Yeah, or 5 pennies for our American listeners. 5 Lincolns. All right, who have we got next?
All right. This one I think you will know.
Yeah.
But the Vashta Narada. This is the first one on our list that I think is genuinely scary and freaked me out. So, this was also in the Donna series, dude. You got to watch it. I'm going to make you watch it.
You're pitching them to me.
All right.
And you have to try and make me scared just from the words you're conjuring.
Okay.
Sorry, can you give me the name one more time?
Vashta Narada.
Okay, and that's the name of like a race?
Yeah, I assume so.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's not just one guy. It's not just one guy with that name. Yeah.
So they're basically like almost like a bacteria or just like very, very tiny things. So you can't see them. They're fucking invisible. And they like lurk in the shadows.
Wow, okay.
So, yeah. So basically in this episode, if you walk into the shadows, they're like piranhas and they eat you.
Oh, fuck.
And you're left with a skeleton.
So you never see anything?
No.
That's creepy.
But what they do in the episode, which is quite cool, is that...
just spray some DEET.
Yeah. Just get one of those like incense coils out.
No, citronella.
The people that are like investigating, it's like this giant library, a library planet.
Yeah.
Investigating why suddenly there's no one there, everyone's gone, and they're
it's a library planet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because people have ebooks, people have Kindles now.
So the people that are there to investigate, this was also the introduction of River Song in the series.
Oh, wow.
They have their like big spacesuits on. Yep. And so when they go off investigating, and then you can still hear them, and then they start repeating themselves, and then you go and find them, and oh shit, they're just a skeleton in a suit. And then it's because they've got like a little chip in their helmet, which is like a relay. Sure. And so they keep replaying the last moments of their life and what they were thinking, and it's really sad and fucking awful.
The bacteria thing can replay the last moments. Nah,
it's to do with the suit, not to do with the creatures. But it's just like the fact that you can't see this shit.
That is scary.
You stand in the shadows and it will eat you, and it's like the big reveal of the episode is basically that the library was built on the planet that they're from, and they lived in the trees. They're like insects in the trees or whatever.
Right, so they're just like the natives protecting their land.
The books are their like forest. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And so it's like invasion of their home.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. I mean, that is scary. But I can imagine, like you said, like the hiding it in the shadows and stuff. That like watching that as like a 9-year-old and then going to bed.
Yeah,
it'd be terrifying.
Yeah, it really freaked me out for a long time.
Is that S tier for you?
Yeah, I think so. Like, if there's anything, I'm pretty hardy, and I think anything that if I lie in bed and can't sleep at night, I'd consider that pretty. So, like my snoring. Yeah, exactly. That's S tier. That's double S tier.
Yeah. The second S stands for snoring. All right. What else have we got?
We've got up next the classic Cybermen.
Cybermen. I don't. They always show up as like a secondary villain in episodes that I've seen. Like Cybermen are like, most people listening to this probably know what a Cyberman looks like, but like, what do they do?
So originally they're from a planet that was like a twin planet of Earth. Mm-hmm. I think they appeared as early as like the first Doctor. Yeah. And I
mean, they're like the first design you think of when you're. It's like just chuck a guy in kind of a robot suit.
Yeah, it's like imagine your classic silver robot suit, and then the helmet's also like silver with black eye holes, and then if you imagine like handles on the top. That's them, and like there's story I guess started with them being like full robots, I think, in the classic series, but in the new one, it's basically their prime directive to upgrade the human race into Cybermen. So they're trying to like
just the human race, or they go like planet to planet doing this?
I honestly don't know, but I guess
it only affects
the Doctor Who budget only limits them to Earth, so it's mainly humans. And so the first time we see them, it's kind of like, oh shit, throwback, cool. And then the second time we see them, they trap Rose in an alternate dimension and break everyone's hearts into a million pieces.
Well, that's them that does that.
Yeah, dude.
So, I guess the thing that affects how scary it is, that like if they were to upgrade me, as they would put it, into a Cyberman, how would that affect my quality of life?
It would prevent you from having any emotion. So
sounds good.
It sounds like a good deal to me. You just sort of carry on. Do
you have? Can you reproduce?
No, you can't fuck.
I don't
know if they like chop off your head and put it in, but like they remove probably most of you, or like they integrate the technology into the body.
Yeah. Are they, how often are they actually shown as like a threat? And like, is the Doctor scared of them?
No. It's kind of just like a pesky villain, I guess.
Yeah.
Because like also that thing of like once you've seen them so many times, you become desensitized to it a fair amount.
Yeah, exactly.
And also like, I think the second time you see them in like modern Who, they have this awesome fucking like sassy bitch off with the Daleks.
Oh yes, yeah. It's going viral on TikTok. It's like
and I've forgotten what the sound was. It's something like we are 10,000 Cybermen. How many are you? We have 4.
Yeah. That is all we need. It's like, you are superior in only one way. You are better at dying.
Z snaps all around.
Yes, yeah, I mean, like the Cybermen, we'll get to Daleks, but like, yeah, Cybermen just seem too silly for me. I haven't seen them taken seriously.
I think like there's a part of me that's like, you know, there's such like an ingrained and entrenched part of Doctor Who that like, it's like, oh, do they deserve an A tier? But nah, they're like pretty silly. I think the most horrific thing that I've seen of them is that they converted one of like the companions of Peter Capaldi. into a Cyberman, and that was pretty horrific. And one of the 11th Doctor's gal's boyfriends. God, it's like I've got all this like family drama, and I'm filling you in on it. So I've got this mate, right, and his boyfriend's girlfriend. She got turned into a Cyberman. So like that stuff is pretty sad.
Yeah.
But that like to have that effect on you, they have to like attack a pretty central character pretty closely,
right.
Rather than just like them being spooky. They're not spooky. You look at them and you're like, oh yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
B
they're
tier?
like a B or even maybe a C tier.
Oh, C for Cyberman?
Yeah, nice.
Let's do it. C.
And then
my mum's calling me. Sorry, mum. Call you later.
Up next we have the Silence.
Yeah.
Now that's the big butthole looking thing, right?
Yeah, oogly boogly things.
Yeah.
So they've got like bulbous fucking heads. They're like real white. Imagine if you imagine like what you think a grey alien would look like.
Yeah, like your very typical drawing of like a Martian.
Yeah. And then just like elongated.
Like Paul from the movie Paul.
Yeah. But make it like 8 foot tall.
Yeah.
Really long fingers like Slender Man. It's basically...
Take out the Seth Rogen voice.
Yeah. It's basically like Slender Man but with an alien head.
Yeah, right. And you said oogly boogle, but isn't like the oond? Is that something?
The ood. They are something, but they're not really a villain.
That's not part of the Silence?
No.
Okay, right.
Ood's its own thing.
Okay.
There's like tentacles coming out of the mouth and shit.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm picturing. I thought that was... I thought the ood was like the main Silence.
Nah. The ood are like a, almost like a slave race in some episodes. It's pretty horrible.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty awful. I'm trying to find a photo. Oh, now I'm just Googling fucking ood.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you've got fast Googling skills.
Yeah, what is it? The Silence?
Yeah.
The Silence, not the 2019 film, the Doctor Who villain.
Like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's like Slender Man, but like with a skull.
Like literally you said butt face, and I was like, 100%.
Yeah.
It's got
shit
out its mouth any second.
Immediately, like I it is very Slender Man, but like the wearing a suit, the like skull like features of the face, like it's got the eye sockets, it's got the nose thing,
really recessed eyes.
That it's like I'll get you to tell me like what their deal is in a sec, but like if we're just talking like who would I want to run into or not run into in a dark alley, that is up there.
Yeah.
Like seeing that or like seeing that face at the window, that is like one of the scariest designs they have.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Don't want to see that in a forest.
But like in terms of how they actually are as a villain.
Pretty scary.
Yeah.
To be honest, I've kind of forgotten like a lot of it because it was the Matt Smith and I was kind of like starting to not be as interested at that point. And they make you forget. So you can remember them when you're looking at them, but when you're not looking at them, you forget that they exist. So like you'll see in photos of Doctor Who episodes that include them, people have like tallies. They've written tallies all over their arms, and it's to tally how many of them that they've seen. So when you look away, you're covered in tallies, and it's to remind you that they're there because you'll just be hanging out in your life, and you'll look down and you'll see. Like, you'll have nothing on your hand. And then the next time you look at your hand, you'll have, like, 10 marks on your hand.
Oh, wow.
And it'll be like, oh, shit.
Fuck, that's cool. Yeah, I just, looking on the Wikipedia page, they're based on Edward Munch's The Screen.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's very obvious. And, like, that painting, horrifying.
Yeah, pretty bad.
Yeah. If I was to see that painting in a dark alleyway... I'd be like, who left this unattended? Who left Edward Munch's
I'm going to be fucking rich.
Yeah, the Silence. Although, isn't The Scream, it's like part of a series? I just found this out recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know.
For someone that's an arty, I'm surprised I didn't know that.
I mean, it's also maybe not true.
Maybe there's just lots of like
drafts.
Yeah.
Interesting. Anyway, so yeah, the Silence. Okay, that's interesting. The forgetting thing. Did they actively like kill you or anything?
Oh, fuck. Yeah, they've got like electric fingers or some shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There was a few seasons, man, in there when I think, was it Stephen Moffat took over and then like Chris Chibnall took over after that. And then like a few of the seasons were just like pure Boulder Dash, like no overarching storyline, or if there was one, I could not figure out what the fuck it was supposed to be.
It is, Matt Smith called them the scariest monsters in the show's history. I'll give these guys an S tier, I reckon.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah, they're scary as fuck.
They are pretty scary. Yeah, the creature design's pretty cool. Yeah.
Who have we got next?
The Zygons.
The Zygon. See, like, Zygon to me feels like a parody. Like, it's if you were running around your backyard playing Doctor Who, you would be like, look out, Zygons.
Yeah, so basically, like, all the things on this list that are from classic Who, definitely, not super scary, but mainly just because, like, what they had access to back then is not great. And then they have to try and adapt that for modern day without losing too much of it. So basically, if you like,
this is hilarious. I've pulled up a picture. These are very funny.
Yeah, do you want to explain it?
So, like they're tentacles essentially. They're like just one tentacle.
Yeah,
and they've got like a face, and they've got like little suction cups all down their front, and then also like down their sides. But they're just like. Or they look like the points of a starfish. Like, they're these chody, like, head comes to a point and quite phallic in nature, I would say.
I think also what's really particularly funny about them in the show, and this is also the same for the Cybermen, is that the suits are so restrictive. That the actors in them, when they're having to, like, run around and chase people, it's like, you can imagine the fucking Benny Hill track behind it, you know? It's just so ridiculous.
Yeah, these guys, I mean... It's like it's scary in like a body horror way that you're like.
It is kind of reminiscent of Tusk, you know?
Yeah. It's like the kind of shit that a mad scientist would like doom you to turn into.
Yeah.
Is that what they do to you? Because that's scary if so.
I actually don't.
If they just kind of suction you.
I don't even know, but they're shapeshifters, so
this is what they chose.
Yeah. That's their like original form, and then they shapeshift into things. Yeah. There was a very on-the-nose episode where a Zygon, morphed into this scientist girl, basically. And then at the end, the Zygon and the scientist girl, who looked the same, like, teamed up and, like, refused to tell anyone which one was which because it didn't matter anymore because everyone was on the same side. And it was this big thing of, like, we're all the same on the inside.
Wow. Except one of you is a hideous... tentacle monster.
Yeah.
And when I say like tentacle monster, I mean the monster itself is one tentacle. It doesn't have tentacles. It is just a singular chubby, chodish tentacle.
There's really a theme here, isn't there?
Yeah.
Someone's got an obsession with
penises.
Little stubbies.
Yeah. I mean, I can't find these guys that scary. I'm sorry. I mean, if you were friends with someone and you're like, oh, this person looks like a human, they're probably a human, and then they turn into that, that would be pretty freaky.
Yeah.
Do they have to like? I mean, I guess if he ended up being friends with the scientist, then it's like, so they don't need to like steal you or anything.
No.
No.
This is all so vague as well. I'm sure there's going to be people listening to this being like, Jess, you're getting so much of this wrong.
Well.
And you know what?
They'll have to come through me.
I'm here for it. Whatever.
Hit
me up on the Discord, which I never check.
Yeah, I'll just tell Jess, like, hey, people hated your appearance. Do not go on. Okay, so yeah, these guys are like a D tier for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Agreed. Very low down. D for dildo, which they kind of look like as well. That's also a good comparison.
Yeah. But like those dragon ones.
Yeah, like the really like weird ones with suckery things that you can strap to your
We all know
thigh.
what we're talking about. No, continue.
Everyone's on that side of TikTok, right? So the next one as well, I don't think you've seen this episode either.
That's okay.
And it doesn't really have a name.
Ooh.
It's just, I've just called it The Thing. And it's from an episode called Midnight. And it's...
Oh, I've heard good things, I think, about this episode.
Yeah, it is a really good episode.
This is like one of the classic, like, top 10 best episodes of modern Who and shit.
Yeah. It's because it is, like, structured a little bit differently.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's like the Doctor goes on, like, a tour, like a...
No, you did make me watch this one.
Oh, did I?
Yeah,
yay. Proud of past Jess. Yeah, and so it's invisible. But the thing that I find really scary about it is what it did is it came into the ship and then, like, took like implanted itself in the mind of like a scared woman on the shuttle thing. And it was like fucking AI, where it like learnt by listening to other people and repeating back to them what they were saying. And it was like, it started off by just like repeating everything that everyone was saying with like a 3-second delay. And it was really unnerving, especially for someone that has like auditory problems with like stuff like
getting overloaded and shit,
certain Skimbleshanks the railway cat, don't play that shit to me. Like certain,
it's the 3 times
it's when things like go off beat, it really freaks me out. So this like tickled a part of my brain that I really didn't like. So repeating everything back like 3 seconds later, and then slowly catching up to the point where it was then only copying what the doctor was saying, and then started speaking at the same time as the doctor.
Yeah.
And then eventually got ahead.
Yeah.
So the doctor was then repeating what she was saying.
Yeah.
And also fantastic fucking casting. Holy shit.
That's Leslie Sharp as Sky Silvestri.
Yeah.
Is that who you're thinking of?
Yeah. She's in like a cop drama or something at the moment.
Bob and Rose. No, that's from 22 years ago.
It's called like White Castle or something.
Oh, yeah. Well,
no, that's a burger chain.
Like this one is cool, and it's like you say, it's doing something interesting with like, I mean, it's like you call it The Thing, and it's similar to the movie The Thing. Like this is what this is what the Zygon was missing as well. That it's like, take someone's DNA, but like do something interesting with it.
Also, it didn't over-explain it. Like, it didn't try to like tell you what it was or anything. It was just like, there's something here. This is what it's doing. That's all we're fucking telling you. Yeah. And it's that thing of like, the unknown is scarier than a known
Absolutely,
quantity.
like the bacteria one from before. So, what is like the end goal of this entity?
We don't know.
Fuck.
We don't find out.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But because
they just get rid of it, they chuck it out the door.
We don't even necessarily know that it's evil then.
No.
Yeah.
It could just be like, it
might have to be like a B tier. I'm sorry, but like
an A tier.
Yeah, let's go A. Well,
like it does have like, I guess like
nefarious,
nefarious tendencies in that it's trying to like chuck people out the airlock. But
so it's like Among Us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the imposter.
Yeah, the imposter. That's
oh
what
my
we call
god.
It.
Doctor Who should sue Among Us.
All right, who have we got next?
One that you're recently familiar with.
Oh yes,
the Slitheen.
The Slitheen. Now, these are the farty ones, right?
Yeah.
So, this was very early in Modern Who, and they're these like, again, very phallic looking monsters. These long necks, real big chubby bodies.
Yeah.
But they like fit, and so they kill people, but like take out all their insides and then wear them as like suits, and they have like they get like calcium buildup or something like that, and it's released as little farts, and so you have like they take over all these world leaders and then just keep farting, and also this is like the very ambitious era of like 2005 Doctor Who, where. They have like the bodysuits, and it's like, like good on them. Then there's a charm to it of the like people in suits, and
these
then it'll
big
cut to like
suits.
which would have been horrible to wear, I'm sure. But like and then it cuts to a wide shot, and you have like a CGI monster chasing them through a hallway, and it does not look this. It's not seamless in the slightest.
Does not translate at all.
Yeah. It's like the costume designers and the CGI people were like not on the same page. The CGI ones are like 2 foot taller than the practical ones.
Very like fluid movement as well. Whereas like in a rubber suit, you're just like creaking around the place.
Oh yeah. These guys are very silly. I didn't find them like what they can do to you is pretty scary. That like they can just take your skin, but like and literally like remove your insides, and what I'm sure is quite a painful procedure, but. They're so silly. I mean, they're just kept out of, like, I would say, like, C tier, in that, like, you wouldn't want to actually face off against them But they're so silly.
But if you were lying in bed and then one of them was in your room, you wouldn't immediately freak out.
Yeah, if there's just some like farting politician at the end of my bed.
Yeah.
If Christopher Luxon, the future Prime Minister of New Zealand, you woke up and he was at the end of your bed and he farted, what would you do? Would you be scared?
Well, I'd be scared for my political viewpoint.
Right.
Does that make sense? I zoned out halfway through your last sentence.
Yeah, no, these guys are D tier, I think.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Agreed. The coolest part about them is the name that they came up for their planet. Can you remember what it was?
Slovenia.
No, because Slovene isn't even the name of the race.
All right.
It's the family name.
Oh, okay. What's the name of the planet again?
Raxacolicotheribatorius or something?
Yeah.
Raxacolicotheribatorius, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Something like that. Anyway. Next one, which I think is quite scary.
Yeah.
I don't even know the proper name for it, but it's like the devil.
The devil, yeah, the devil.
The devil creature.
Yeah.
And the Impossible Planet and Satan Pit.
The devil creature from Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah. Him?
Yeah. They were scary.
Dude.
Yeah.
That guy's camp.
Yeah. So what was the devil pit or the Satan pit?
The Satan pit. Yeah. So basically, if you just imagine what you think the devil looks like, it's that, but fucking massive.
Like swole or like tall?
Both, dude.
Fuck.
Yeah. He's been going to the gym. He's been hitting the weights. It's like bright red demon thing. And basically the whole episode is that they're like on this planet that's orbiting a black hole, but it never falls in. And basically the devil thing is like preventing it from falling into the black hole. But you find out that the creature is only the body and the mind is like infesting all the humans that have landed there that are trying to figure out what's going on.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
he looks very similar to like Tenacious D's version of the devil.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
As played by Dave Grohl.
Yeah. So this was like it's
very traditional sort of depiction of the devil.
Yeah, it's kind of like a two-parted double hitter for me because it's like not only is the creature fucking awful and terrible,
but also the Catholic guilt.
But largely the Catholic guilt. No, but also like the what do you call it when you're? Oh my god, I am not articulate at all today.
Like what you grew up with.
No.
The generational trauma.
Something like takes hold of your body.
Oh, yeah. Like a mind control kind of thing.
No, but there's a specific word I'm looking for that has to do with like demons and shit.
Oh, possession.
Possession. Possession. Basically going up and possessing people and like...
Is it you that finds possession really scary?
No.
Okay. I was talking to someone recently. And when I say recently, I mean within the last year. And they were saying that like, they like can't do possession films and stuff.
Oh wow!
Because that's just the one thing they find really scary.
They can't handle.
Yeah, and I can't remember who it was.
Yeah. No, I don't think there's anything that I find so scary that I won't watch something because of it.
For me, it's female comedians.
Yeah, fair enough.
No, there was a callback. I'm not scared of them. All right.
You're just terrified of their power to emasculate you.
Yeah. What if they make jokes about me? Yeah, so he's a pretty freaky design. The voice of Gabriel Wolf.
Who dat?
I don't know.
B tier?
Yeah, B tier or A tier. I'm happy to go with A tier if you're that scared of him.
Let's chuck him in B.
Okay.
I reckon it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next one is The Flood from the Waters of Mars.
The Flood?
Yeah.
Is it just a flood?
Nah. So this is an episode that I watched forever ago and haven't rewatched because I actually found it genuinely pretty scary. You should Google it.
Yeah.
But it's like a bacteria, I think, that gets into the water. So then the humans that are on this base that are on Mars, I'm assuming, and infects them basically like eyes go all white. They turn into zombie kind of things.
Yeah, like
And
fucking
then-
decays their mouths.
Yes, their mouth gets all like crackly and awful, and it's all black and like rotted inside. It basically looks like someone whose face is like half rotting off.
Yeah, it's like just their mouth is decomposed. Like if you found like a drowned body of someone, but just the mouth.
Yeah.
And with like white eyes.
Pretty horrific. And they can like spurt water at you. That sounds really silly, but like
I can do that.
That's how it's like passed on.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's pretty horrible. They're just in one episode and they never turn up again.
Yeah, so it's a very zombie-ish sort of thing, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty freaky. Wouldn't want to, like, if in a dark alley, I was to, let's say, AJ, for example. I saw AJ in a dark alley and I'd be like, oh, hey, man, what's up? And then he'd be like, "Rrrr," and I'd be like, oh, someone did a bit too much to drink. And then I would get closer to him and then he would, like, spit on me or whatever. I can imagine that happening.
Can you do, just to fill the AJ-sized hole in this podcast, can you do your best impression of AJ seeing one of these creatures?
He'd probably be like, oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
That's very Australian.
Oh, no. Oh, no. It's a flood. That's AJ.
Very good.
Thank you.
C tier?
I like B tier. B or A even. Yeah.
That's a pretty cool character design.
Yeah.
And like the makeup's pretty bloody good.
Yeah.
All righty. B tier. Getting a lot of Bs.
Yeah.
Next one?
Yeah.
Almost at the end of our list.
Well, that's all good.
The next one, I don't know what they're called. I've just called them the gas mask fuckers.
Yeah. These guys are scary.
Yeah, dude.
The Empty Child.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's one I remember from 2005 when I watched it. So what is it? They go back to one of the world wars.
Yeah.
And it's like, during the bombings and stuff like that, a bunch of children get, or not necessarily just children, get like gas masks fused to their face.
Yeah. It's like almost like a legend of this child that goes round and is empty, and it's just very like haunting and creepy. And then
it just says, "Are you my mummy?
Are you my mummy?" And then the more they investigate, they find an entire hospital of people that are basically comatose, but with the gas masks fused to their face.
Yeah.
And then
you see like a transformation of
you
one,
see it spread. It's like a virus.
Yeah. But it's revealed as something that it's like a virus that like saw this kid with a gas mask on asking for its mum and just like assumed that's what humans were supposed to look like or something and transformed everyone into that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think there was a bombing.
Yeah.
But the bomb was, this is when Captain Jack was introduced as well.
Oh, yeah.
It was an ambulance that crashed and killed the kid, but the ambulance was filled with nanobots that
it was I remember it being nanobots.
Yeah, so the first thing it found was this dead child and assumed that that's what all humans should be like. And then so anything that it came in contact with would change it into that. Yeah.
Yeah, which is a cool concept. Like that's a good idea.
It's so good.
It's like when I can't really care, Mos Def in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy comes to, what's the alien's name?
What are you talking about?
In Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, when he comes to Earth
Yeah.
and he assumes that cars are like the dominant race, he tries to shake one's hand.
Oh yeah, Ford. He calls himself
Ford Prefect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, this is what I thought. But yeah, no, this was a great episode. Like, and I actually haven't. I think it's the next episode we're about to watch now. Rewatch.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen this episode in almost 20 years, like since it came out.
It was very scary when I first watched it as a child. It was very creepy.
Great, very effective, and yeah. So I guess like, are we saying the villain is like the nanobots or the villain is the gas mask?
Nah, it's like in the episode, it's the gas mask zombies. Really, that's tormenting people.
Yeah, I mean, I think the nanobots are scarier.
Really?
Yeah, something that can actually like change you rather than just keep testing you if you're its mum.
They're supposed to be like a plaster. It's supposed to be like a Band-Aid, futuristic Band-Aid. That just went wrong.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, like it's a very there's something about like children as well that's very unsettling. Like they're used a lot in horror films, like the twins and The Shining, shit like that. That it's like people are just. I guess it's almost like an uncanny valley thing that like people are scared of children not acting like children.
Yeah.
Unless they're like young Sheldon or something like that, and they're acting like hilarious adults.
It's also just like that thing of because the kid is always following them. It's like the movie It Follows, where it's like wherever you go, as long as they're like tagging along this other lady, it's always following them, and it's going to catch up with them at some point. They just don't know when. Yeah,
it's like your past.
Well, it's deep.
It's like your sins.
That's deep, man.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, I A tier. Let's go A tier. They're just unsettling.
Okay, cool. This is the penultimate.
Nice.
The Master.
The Master, yes. So the Master is what's interesting. Like I was going to say, is like the Joker to Doctor Who's Batman, but I guess like the Daleks are more the iconic villain. But
that's how exactly I'd describe it.
Yeah. I guess it's like, yeah. But it's like the two sides of the same coin sort of thing. That it's like, especially like if you were to do a Doctor Who movie now, I feel like you would do the Master first and then tease the Daleks for the second one. Because they love, especially like the first movie of like a superhero movie, is always like the villain that's the same as them. So the Master is what they're like. It's, I mean, in the same way as Doctor Who, the Master has regenerated a bunch of times, so it's been played by a bunch of different actors. But there's nothing super noteworthy about like there's no like shared feature amongst all the Masters.
No, not really. So the Master is also a Time Lord and grew up with the Doctor, and then basically just went a bit crazy. They kind of in the modern series kind of attribute it to always hearing like this drum beat in his head, and it's like slowly drove him crazy, and that's basically like the future version of himself calling back through his regeneration. It was something like that, but gets more and more unhinged. It's kind of like, it started off as like this weird, suave little villain that was running around in like the classic series, and then was played by John Sim in was played by I think Derek Jacobi first as like this big reveal. I'm also a big fan of Good Omens, and dear Lord, keep Derek Jacobi away from David Tennant, please.
Yes, and we had a female Master before we had a female Doctor as well, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah.
We did, yeah.
So the Master is actually less sexist.
Yeah, man. Well, yes, but we don't know the order of the Master, though, because we think that maybe Missy was after the current Doctor. Because Missy kind of like started to come around in the end and started to help them, but like fuck knows what's going on with them, man. Like they're crazy. But and then because the Master that came after her just went straight back into like psychosis.
Yeah, right. Crazy shit. Yeah. Hey, do you have a favorite Master?
No, but actually, I don't know. Have you seen the movie?
No, I haven't.
It's pretty good in that. Like it's just like a real like campy 80s villain.
Eric Roberts.
Yeah, and that was actually great.
Yeah. So the Master has sort of had a redemption arc, or like some part of it.
Yeah, they did at some stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I guess it's like because they're the same race, they're not always fighting against.
Yeah, and I guess things kind of like the dynamic changed as well when everyone else died.
Yeah,
and they were the only ones left. What are the odds, huh?
What are the odds? The last two Time Lords, and they don't like each other.
Better learn to get along, guys.
Yeah.
Got an entire race to reproduce.
When it's like, I wouldn't sleep with you if you're the last Time Lord and all of the universe.
Well,
here I am, Missy.
Yuck.
So, was Missy still called the Master, or was it like, no, you're the girl one, you're called Missy?
Yeah, it was kind of like you're the well, yeah. I don't know how I felt about it.
Was that to hide the reveal that she was the Master?
Yes.
Right, yeah.
So there was a couple of episodes where she was there as Missy, like sort of pulling the strings. And then there was the big reveal of, you can't exactly call me the Master, can you? You know what? Yes, I fucking can.
Yeah. The mistress.
Ooh. Sexy, get her a whip.
Oh,
and some latex.
Okay, so what tier are you thinking for the Master then?
I'm thinking A tier, just because like he is pretty scary, like in the first reveal in the New Who. like, yeah, maybe like a little bit silly in their classic, but I think like where they've taken it, at least for like the middle portion, is pretty good.
And also like to be an actual like challenge for the dog, that,
exactly,
to be able to go toe to toe.
Yeah, happy with that. Cool.
So now we're up to the ultimate one.
Yep.
Got to end on the Daleks,
drum
right?
roll.
Drum roll. Oh no, it's my future self trying to get me. The Daleks, right?
Yeah.
In the debate once and for all.
Okay.
Are the Daleks scary?
In some
What does a Dalek look like?
iterations.
First of all?
Like the classic thing is like it looks like a pepper pot, is what people like. Salt,
like a
salt,
pepper
salt,
mill,
salt and pepper shakers, you know.
Yeah. Like a rubbish bin.
Yeah.
With the plunger sticking out of it.
Yep, exactly that. Like a little phaser thing, and then like a plunger, basically as like if you can imagine the arms.
Yeah.
That's what the arms are, and then the head is like a dome with like an eye stalk
and
with like a little blue light at the end of it.
Miley Cyrus at the 2013 VMAs sort of things on the top.
Space buns.
Yeah.
Little space buns, but they're lights.
Yeah. And
they've got like balls all over the bottom half of them.
And so like you think Doctor Who, you think Dalek, like it's the most sort of iconic villain there's got. And so this like dates back to First Doctor, way back. And that like they're pretty silly. But
the first reveal of them, people were fucking terrified. Like the way they did that, it was like a slow reveal.
Like in the initial,
right, and it was pretty scary. Like they were the original scariest villains of Doctor Who. Also because like the thing about the Daleks is they're genetic mutations basically, and they believe that they are the only beings in the universe that are pure.
Yeah, very Nazi.
It's super Nazi. And so they're going to kill everything else that's not them. Not because they have any like ulterior I don't even know what I'm trying to say. That is what they purely believe, and they can't be programmed to believe anything else.
Yeah, they're very steadfast in their beliefs. And it's interesting that like it is similar sort of like, you know, it's a response to World War II, because it was what, like 1963 or something like that. That like, so yeah, like they're very much in that response to World War II, same way that Godzilla, was a response to the for the Japanese. And it's the thing that like it's so easy to write off the Daleks as just being silly, but like the first episode to feature a Dalek in modern Who is so good that it's like. The way, you know, going into that, I'm sure there would have been people that'd be like, how can you even do a Dalek nowadays? Because, you know, this is the same year that Batman Begins came out, that it's like, we take things a lot more seriously now. And, you know, you chuck on an episode of Doctor Who featuring Daleks now, it's like, oh, there's a billion of them and they fly and they're not like a real threat. But it's like, in this first episode, it's just called Dalek. There is one, the entire Dalek race is down to one, and he's chained up, he's being tortured, and the Doctor is terrified of him. And it's such a great introduction that, like, you know, I had heard of the Daleks. I knew that I'd seen what they looked like before, but yeah, I didn't really understand them. I knew they were the like arch nemesis, and then seeing like how the Doctor reacts to a Dalek, a single Dalek in that first episode is so good. Yeah. It's like some of the best shit Doctor Who's done, and of the very limited part of what I've seen.
And then that kind of sticks around for a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I think it kind of carried on through David Tennant's Doctor.
Yeah.
And then Matt Smith encounters them a couple of times. Google for me, colourful Daleks.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that they did this? They made them like candy coloured.
Pride Daleks.
Yeah. You know, cool in another aspect, but not scary at all. Like,
yeah, so I shouldn't have called them Pride Daleks, because then it makes them more harder to criticize.
And that's not scary at all. If you see a bright fucking yellow Dalek,
the new Dalek paradigm, they're called.
Yeah, that's really stupid. And also, like, that Doctor's just like not like the fear is not there anymore. Kind of.
Yeah, right. Yeah, weird shit. Do you find Daleks scary?
I did when I was younger.
Where would you think to rank them?
Oh, this is like controversial, but I think even maybe like B tier.
Yeah.
Just like
Just
that'd be lower,
used.
but out of respect.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, also just like out of how good that first episode is of Modern Who that they're in.
Yeah, exactly.
That it tells you all you need to know. Like, I was just thinking that, like, watching the new season of Loki, minor spoilers for the new season of Loki, but like seeing how Loki reacts to Kang does such a better job of making you scared of him than like Quantumania did.
Yeah.
There's like, you had 2 hours of this fucking movie, and he's good at it. Like Jonathan, like he's good in the film, and I thought Kang was effective at the time. But yeah, like seeing Loki start the season being horrified that this man might be appearing. It's like, yeah, because Tom Hiddleston's a good actor, then he's a better actor than Peyton Reed as director. So have we answered who are the scariest Doctor Who villains? What's our tier list at the end of this? Starting from the bottom.
All right. So our F tier was the Sontarans, the war potatoes.
Yes.
Yep. Classic. Then moving up to D tier, we've got Zygons and the Slytherin. Yep. C tier, Cybermen.
Yeah.
On their
C for Cybermen, yep.
Yeah. B was Daleks, the Weeping Angels, which now I feel like it's too low, but I'm going to leave it.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, fuck it. The Satan thing and the Flood, the Water People.
Yeah.
A was the gas mask little fucker dudes, the Thing from Midnight, and the Master.
Yeah.
And then at S tier, taking it out, we've got the Vashta Narada, the Shadow Piranhas.
Virus, yeah.
And the Silence.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we've probably missed some really big ones.
Is the Vashta Narada is that like a Jess pick, or is that a common sort of thing? Oh, like if you were to look up like scariest, like do people talk about it a lot?
I reckon that would probably come up in like a list of scariest ones.
Yeah.
But
it's not one I'd heard of before.
Well, it's like the scariest monsters rather than like the scariest episodes, right? Because there are some pretty creepy episodes. There's one with like living dolls and stuff, but like the character design I don't find that scary.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, if you like listening to this, thank you. Let's all give a round of applause or snaps for Jess for coming on. Thank you very much. And for sharing your passion for Doctor Who with us. No, like I genuinely I find it so interesting, and I love asking questions to like get more information out of people about what they're passionate about. Yeah. I used to do it for a living.
Yeah. Oh.
And but yeah, no, if you like listening to the Cult Popture podcast, normally we have another guy on here, but normally Jess isn't here. It's a rare treat for us. But yeah,
so if you hated having a female voice on here, all good.
You'll love the rest of it.
Yeah, tune in for the next episode.
Yeah. So next week we will be doing Leprechaun. It was supposed to come out this week, but due to AJ's sickness, we delayed it. So yeah, tune in next week. We will be covering the 8 films in the Leprechaun franchise. And yeah, if you liked this podcast, subscribe to Cult Popture anywhere you can find your podcast, and head up the Discord. That's probably the best way to contact us to get in touch. Discord link is in the show notes, and Jess will be there if you want to correct her on anything Doctor Who related. You can find us on X. You can find us on Instagram, Cult Popture, or you can email us at cultpopturemedia.com. And of course, you are more than welcome, nay encouraged, to sign up to the Patreon, where for as little as $1 a month, you can decide what we do on the podcast. There's a bunch of other fun rewards there as well that you can get, including bonus podcasts, or you can give us something to talk about in a post-credit scene, which we will be coming to in just a moment. Before we go, Jess, any final words? You will join us for the post-credit scene, so they're not final words, but any last words?
Thanks for having me, and thanks for letting me ramble on for an hour about Doctor Who. I wish I had a more useful interest, but here we are.
No, I mean, yeah, it is what it is.
To the post-credit scene.
Welcome along to the post-credit scene. This is a scene at the end of the episode where, for just $5 a month over at patreon.com/cultpopture, we will give you give us something to talk about in the post-credit scene. Today's question comes to us from Dylan Hutton, who asks, Alien versus Predator, which one would you fuck?
Oh, Jesus.
I mean,
right,
the
Dylan.
alien is very phallic. The Predator is very vaginal.
Yeah?
But like real gross.
Like, the alien's
when it opens up and shit.
Yeah, super toned. Predator, I'd say, is like buff.
Yeah.
Or like if you were to use the Kiki Boba method on Alien versus Predator, what would you assign to what?
That's a really good question. I would probably say Boba would be Predator. Kiki would be Alien.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain what we're talking about here?
I tend to agree. Well, it kind of stems from like shape theory, right? Where if you show someone a spiky shape and then like a bulbous shape, more people are likely to think that the spiky shape is called Kiki and that the bulbous shape is called Boba rather than the other way around.
Yeah.
And if you apply that to human beings, Kiki is like chiseled, jaws, very traditionally handsome. I'm trying to think of examples. Like Chris Hemsworth, I'd say, is Kiki.
And I'm Boba.
You're Boba. Like, Boba is welcoming faces. Like, I would say more friendly.
Well, they're also like, neither is necessarily good or bad if we're getting into that. But it's like, but yeah, there's a fascinating thing that like, because it crosses over language barriers as well, that it's like just the harsher sound that the K makes and stuff, that it's like, you know, we're supposed to have the sharp edges and stuff like that. I mean, because Alien, you've got the face hugger as well, that I feel like you could put on your dick.
Oh yeah, that's a good shout.
And lay its eggs in you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably fuck the alien.
Yeah. No, I can see that. I'd say that the alien's more feminine and that Predator's more masculine.
Yeah, well, the alien is a woman.
Yeah, exactly.
Alien queen.
So, but yeah, no, I tend to agree with you.
You'd fuck the alien?
I'd fuck the alien.
Yeah, nice.
I think the Predator's face would put me off too much with all the jaw unhinging.
Yeah. Or you could like, after like John Hurt's been face hugged,
you
could sit on his chest and wait for it to burst through.
Oh yeah.